Hello, my name's Charlie Wells, and today I'd like to talk to you about leadership. Now, I've been a Marine for a very long time. That means I have a very long list of tips on how to be a successful leader. But I suspect you don't want to sit here and listen for 30 minutes as I run down that list. So I'm going to boil this down to a very short list. In fact, that list has one tip. If you want to be a good leader, be decisive. That means make sound and timely decisions. You know, we all know leaders who have different decision-making capabilities. There's the leader who can make a very quick decision, and it's usually the correct decision. And then we have leaders who sometimes arrive at correct decisions after weeks and weeks and sometimes months and months of painstaking planning. You know, I've seen leaders that are absolutely paralyzed with indecision because they get stuck in the decision-making loop. And they'll gather information, they'll call in multifunctional teams of experts, they'll discuss it, they'll debate it, they'll develop courses of action. By the time they get around to making a decision, deadline's passed. You know, we had a modern era leader back in World War II. The guy's name was General George Patton. You've probably heard of him, kind of a big deal. He said this, he said, "A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week." That's true, ain't it? I mean, we all see that man or that woman who it takes them an inordinate amount of time to make a simple decision on something. And the more complicated the decision or the bigger the stakes, the longer it takes them to plan and to decide. So I'd encourage you today not to be that man or woman. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect decision. There's only a correct decision or an incorrect decision. So instead of debating and planning and all this, don't make careless decisions, but make correct decisions that are also timely. And if you do that, people will respect that. You know, this reminds me of a time I was fishing with my dad at a local lake, and I had an artificial lure that I got caught in a bush on the shoreline. So he moves the boat over to the shoreline so that I can get out and get my lure. Well, he pulled up next to a big rock, and I was indecisive. See, I stepped out of the boat, but only with 1 foot. I put 1 foot on the rock, 1 foot in the boat. Sometimes that's what we try to do as leaders. We try to kind of hover around the decision-making process. Well, unfortunately for me, the boat started to move away from the shoreline. I suspect my dad was teaching me a lesson about leadership that day because I took a bath. If you don't want to take a bath as a leader, be decisive. Make a sound decision and stick with it. Either get out of the boat or stay in the boat, but make that sound decision, and when you make it, stick with it. Because folks on teams, your folks that are counting on you, hey, they need a man or a woman who is decisive and can stand behind a decision. If you become known as that leader, I can assure you people will rally around you, and it'll make your life and your mission a whole lot easier to accomplish. Good luck with your leadership. Semper Fidelis.